Morning. Happy Saturday to you guys. Happy Saturn Day. Yeah, so so this is like a little just like a shooting the breeze message. Just as I mean not even a message. I'm not doing any readings or anything right now, at least. Just wanted to come on here and just touch bases and see how everybody's doing, how everybody's feeling, let you guys know where I'm at. Um Let me just make sure the sound is good before we even get. Okay. Yeah, the sound is not too bad. Yeah, just to kind of let you guys know where I'm at with the channel and everything. Hey, Celestial, how are you, sis? Happy Saturn Day. Yeah, cause let me get these out of the way because this is gonna be misleading. I'm not doing any readings right now. Um, I just wanted to touch bases because I had posted a community um, post the other day, and I was curious to see where you guys were like what you guys would like to see because sometimes and I know as an intuitive, like if we're just talking about delivering messages, I don't always have a message all the time. I'm not a crystal ball. I'm not an 8 ball, that you can just shake up and then like a message just comes to you or answers come. Like that's not natural to me. So I don't have a message all the time. But there's times where I do want to do different things with the channel, and I feel like the engagement is not really that great on here. So usually it could be a multitude of things. Like YouTube's algorithm is crazy. um I mean, it could be other things such as people no longer resonate with the channel, or just don't watch YouTube as much as they used to, or just don't resonate with the content. Like it could be a multitude of things, you know what I mean? Or I don't know, I could be shadow bans. I don't know. I could have a whole bunch of bots, subscribers, like, because the viewership does not add up to the subscriber count. It's really crazy. And it's that constant back and forth, that battle between, you know, um, quality over quantity. So obviously, it's not always about how many subscribers you have and how many viewers you get. Like it's really about who's watching. Sometimes, like I'll be honest, I'm gonna be transparent. Sometimes I feel like I'm not that helpful as a messenger. I do sometimes. I'm like I wonder if this messages are these things really helping people, and then you get into that place where you want to keep up with what's trendy sometimes, but still keep it real, still do what's natural, still do what you're divinely called to do. So it's a push and pull, it really is. And yeah, and I'm not just a tarot reader, so that's that as well. So it's like that's challenging to incorporate other aspects of me, and things that I have gifts and talents and things that I can share that's not just based off of me pulling cards and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like deeper than that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm also debating whether I want to go back to Walu because Walu is special to me. Walu is very significant. Like from toddler age, my family always said like they call me Walu because I didn't know how to pronounce flowers, and they would say that that was me trying to pronounce a flower. Like but I would point at flowers and say Walus. So I would call flowers Walus because I didn't know how to pronounce them. According to them, that's what they said I was trying to call flowers, but I don't know. I was like an interesting child, I guess. I was kind of weird. Like I would talk to the sky. They would say I would talk to plants. Like so, it makes sense. Me being an earth sign, that makes a lot of sense. And but I don't know if that's really what I was trying to say. If I was really trying to say flowers, or I was saying something else. So I got curious when I started my channel. I started off as I think the ghetto fairy. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to name my channel. This is like the genesis of my channel way back when, like 9 or 10 years ago. When I started my channel, I was like, I don't know what to call myself. And I was debating between the Walu child, like the flower child. It just felt fitting to me. But for some reason, I just landed. with the fairy, the ghetto fairy. And I was like, why would I call myself that? It was, I mean, it was kind of catchy, but I feel like that's an aspect of me, but I don't, like I just thought it was catchy, but I later just stuck to Walu Child readings and it just fit. It just felt natural to just call myself the Walu Child. Like Walu, like I said, was always like this thing that my family would always like say, like, you remember you call them Walus, you call them your flowers Walus. So I was curious to see what the name Walu meant, and I really couldn't find anything, but I came across a Hawaiian word. It was E with and then a not a comma, but it was E Walu, and it means eight or eighth, which is interesting because I have like a connection to the infinity symbol and the number eight. Although my life path number is 9, I was drawn to the 8, and that was interesting that that's what came up. So I just feel like it was just divinely aligned, and I miss because Walu is like a part of me. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it has its own significant meaning, just beyond. Oh, I do have some special Walu chart readings. I do. I have readings that I created. Me and this AI chat, we created a tarot spread based off of Walu. It's so crazy. Like these these AI chat things, they are like I don't know. There's something else. I'm telling you. Like um. So yeah, it helped put a lot of things into perspective because I felt for such a long time a disconnect. Not gonna lie, I felt a disconnect with this channel for a minute. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest. And some of y'all probably could feel that. Y'all probably know that. Um, y'all could probably feel that and know it because I changed my channel name, which I felt like was necessary at the time to change it to officially Chinoa because um I felt like that just kind of summed everything up. Like it's not just a tarot channel. This is me, like things that are me. And just using my real name, Chinoa, it just okay, even that name is significant, it's special. Um, so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just call myself officially Chanel. I'm not gonna put myself in a box because at one point I changed it from my channel from Walu Child Readings to just the Walu Child, and I felt even restricted with just that. And but that's the thing about creatives. Like we go through different stages, you guys, and some of y'all know this about yourselves if you're creative. Like we go through so many different shifts and changes, and it's just really a journey. Like really to just be present, be present. But yeah, I'm not Celeste. I'm not gonna do a reading. I just wanted to touch bases with you guys and stuff like that. But I do have some like specific, like tailored and unique Walu Child readings that I want to do here on the channel that like I said, me and AI came up with based off of the um just the whole backstory, my personality, everything that they've gathered about me, and it was so beautiful. I'm like, this is dope. Like at first I was a little skeptical about these little AI chat things, but it does a lot of magical wonders because I've just, it helps me put things in order for me and help me to see. But yeah, so I I didn't want to like label myself as just a tarot reader, so I wanted to kind of drop the whole readings out of my title, out of my name, but because there's so much more to just that, or to me than just tarot readings. But yeah, so I do want to possibly go back to that because I miss Walu, like what she means, that aspect of me, that Walu that connects with nature, that inner child energy of mine. When my channel was much more of a lighter energy, I feel like when I was but it was like a baby stage, and I feel like I had to grow a little bit, just personally as a person, as a woman, as an intuitive, as a creative. I had to, obviously mature and grow within myself and my journey. So it's not going to be as, because I feel like I came into this a little bit too wide eyed and um, too babyish, not baby, but you know, a little wet behind the ears. Like, yeah, the gift was always there, but I feel like as far as navigating spiritually and socially connecting and stuff like that, I had to learn some things and I had to grow and how to cultivate my gift a little bit more and kind of steward it a bit. So, and not abuse it, meaning like just exploiting it too much and just letting anything and anyone, like, intention is everything. Like, I don't want just anybody watching my channel or anybody just, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing, it's on YouTube, it's public, so of course anybody can see it, but the intentionality of it is like, if someone does not vibe with my channel, that they will just, they'll just fall away. Like, I don't want to attract people that are just here for pure skeptical or to make a spectacle out of spiritual things, you know what I mean? Or just here to, I don't know, because I feel like there's people that are like this new generation of like tarot readings and stuff like that is like very bubblegum, very um and I feel like some people mean well and maybe some people are just using it to exploit people for money and just for trend and to get views and to get likes and for social media, to be a social media influencer. Like, oh, it's easy to hop on the spiritual bandwagon where it's like witchcraft or whether it's tarot readings or healings and stuff like that. Like, and there's people that are genuinely maybe interested in those things or just feel called and led to them, but it's a lot of misinformation, I feel. So, you have to not compete, because I don't feel like there's a need to compete with anyone. When you have a gift, you have a gift. It's unique. It's your own. We all have a place. We all have something to contribute, right? But um, just trying to keep up with the mainstream tarot. Like, I feel newbie viewers, newbies to tarot, they have this perception of it that's like very pop culture. Like, how do I explain it? You know what I mean? Like, they come in and they watch a tarot reading and they feel like it's supposed to tell them their future, or it's just like this basic level. And I try to be mindful of that when I approach tarot, because the way that I read is a little bit complex. It's not a black and white way of reading by any means. I don't like to hyperfixate on future tense things and predictions. If they don't naturally come to me, I don't like to just try to pull that. It's good to know potentially what you're going to get. You know what I mean? Like, what you're going to, what you can potentially expect. But to just be like, oh, this is going to happen. That's not how tarot works. Tarot is a tool. It's not meant to tell you your future per se. It can, like, anything can come through and give you a heads up about your future. So it's not just tarot. It could be a person, like a word of mouth, somebody telling you, they might have a message for you, you know. Um, and if we're tapping into love, because that's one of the like top things that people care about is love, finances, and sometimes their future, like their spiritual path or career sometimes, right? But love is like one of those things that people use the tarot, like, or come to get clarity about, or their future. And if I approach love, like just learning my lesson, I never want to just focus on the surface of it. Like, okay, we know how a person feels. And sometimes that's all you need to get your clarity. But what's the deeper, like, underlying aspect of it? Especially when, like, I do like divine partnership readings and stuff like that. I don't want to approach it in a cliche way. Like, when I started my channel, that's what led me to even start YouTube, was the whole twin flame journey thing, because that was something that I identified with at the time and felt like I was growing through that. And so I wanted to help people. And um I just kind of got innovative with it. Like, I want to look at both parties. And I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, but at that time when I started my channel, there was not that many twin flame readers. It was probably like, I can count on one hand, probably like three other than myself. And I've never seen anybody do a separate reading of divine feminine, divine masculine energies, or the one twin and the other twin. Like, I've never seen anybody do that. So as far as I'm concerned, I was the first reader to do that on here. I've never seen it before. If somebody knows prior, way back when, I think I did that way. probably 2014 or 15. I'm not sure. But if anybody can predate that and find something older than that, let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, like that was something that I had innovated because I thought that that would be helpful to not just look at a journey from just one perspective, but look at it from the other party's perspective and how does that merge. Um, so I've always had a connection to divine partnership energy readings, just more from a healed perspective. So I will continue to do that because I did ask y'all in the community post like how you guys felt about like or what would you like to see more on the channel. So I have all different types of answers when I appreciate all of them. So some of you guys want to see um different readings, some of them about like career and ambitions, self-mastery journeys, readings on divine partnerships, and then one I do miss doing these, the pick a cards with the music, like the choosing like a musical artist, a song. I love doing those. Those are fun. And then I had someone non-tarot related but spiritual related ask about potentially doing like natural remedies, rituals, and recipes for self-healing and love journey, which I can get with that too because I'm pretty I feel like in tune with herbs as well. Like I feel like I have a lot to learn, but as far as like creating my own concoctions and stuff like that and candles and stuff, that is one of my things that I like to do. So like my Florida waters that I made this is the Peruvian one. The Florida water one I made I think is in the bathroom, but this is my Peruvian water that I made. So like basically like when you see like the Florida waters and stuff, but this has a lot of like chemicals and stuff in it, and this was just all natural. And then the Kananja water one I put here. So like I do stuff like that. I create and put herbs and stuff in there. This is like almost gone, but I made like a spiritual like cleansing for the atmosphere, like to spray around. And I put some rue in there. And yeah, rue is really good for dispelling negative energy. So I use that. I can't remember what else I put in there. But yeah, I have some readings coming for y'all, y'all. I just need, a little bit more engagement from y'all because people say they're tired of like love readings and stuff. But to be honest with y'all, like if you're someone that's like a supporter of mine and you're tired of love readings, like I can't help that because that's something that I feel like that's my personal calling, like, or at least one of the biggest things is to help people in their love journey and not just romantically, because the most important relationship you're ever going to have in this life is with yourself, next to God and that of others around you. But most importantly, love journey, it starts with self and it ends with self, point blank, period. So my approach to love readings might vary because everybody's at different stages on their journey. They have different inquiries. And so I try to connect with, people in different ways and different levels. Um, but for me personally, in a perfect world, the type of readings that I would do, I don't feel like people would be too much into that because people say they want to see stuff out like, oh, I want to hear about self-love and I want to hear about my spiritual journey. But if I was to really tap into that, a lot of people are not going to watch those readings. They're not. Um, yeah, love is a part of life. Love is beautiful. I just feel like the approach to love readings is a fine line between doing too much as far as like being too focused on another person in an outside situation and if we're going to be together, are they the one? And I understand that these are important things to know about. It matters. But to worry is one thing. To care is that's human nature. To worry is a human nature too. But it's it's okay to care, but to worry is not a healthy thing. And then like future tense things. Oh, is this gonna happen? Is that gonna happen? Like the tarot is not really meant for that. It's not meant for that type of situation, personally. But if I had it my way, like my channel, I really the things that I like to read on are very outlandish things. And what I mean by outlandish is like really supernatural things that's going on with the person. Um, and I just don't feel like people are ready for that, because I know the shadow side of life. And the shadow side of life is that the truth of the matter is that when you're on a spiritual journey, you will go through spiritual warfares. You will go through spiritual attacks. And sometimes like people don't want to touch on those things because they want to keep it light and fluffy and make it all about angel numbers and um, synchronicities and like that bubble gum. And that's just not the complete reality of the spiritual journey. You know, it's deeper than the aesthetics, that presentation. If I would have started off, um, maybe with that type of content, I probably would have attracted people that were into that sort of thing. But because I started my channel with twin flame readings, like my subscribers and my viewerships, they fluctuate, because that appeals to a certain audience. And self-love and healing journey, when it comes to the twin flame thing, like people really caught up in the twin flame stuff, they say that the journey is like union starts with yourself, but when you really go into that and you really talk about it, people don't want to, because you have to look at yourself. And that's one thing that I understand sometimes about us humans, is we do not like to look at ourselves. Sometimes it's painful. It can be a painful thing. And to admit that we have problems, or to admit that, or we have a problem, or to admit that there's wounding there that we have to heal, or that we have attachment issues and things like that. Like, who wants to sit with that? Who wants to actually do the work to that? Because it's painful, right? Like anything that you have to heal, a scar on your foot, a scar on your hand, or if you broke your back, you got to go through a healing process, and it's painful. Medicine doesn't taste really too good. Sometimes, like they try to put some flavoring in the medicine to make you drink it, but it's still yucky when it goes down, right? But it's meant to heal you. That's the thing. So healing is not always going to feel good. It's just not. You're healing something that is sick, a dis-ease within yourself, or an open wound. So that means that it's something that it's already a wounded situation. So to heal it is going to be painful. It's not going to feel good, and like a cut, when you first cut yourself, when you have that open wound, when you're cleansing it, it burns, it hurts, it stings. Over time, as it's healing, it might even itch, it might irritate you. So it's not an easy journey. It's not. And I don't want to be one of those people to paint that way. And maybe I am meant to help people that's kind of still at the genesis of their journey, or a different layer of their journey that they're getting to. Like, I believe we find messengers at the divine and right time that we need them, because there's people that I still benefit from their guidance and their wisdom on my journey. Sometimes, like as a soundboard to what I'm going through, it's like, okay, that makes better sense to me, or I'm learning something new, you know? Yeah. Do the outlandish stuff. Yeah, I have a spread for you guys. Like, this is a part of the inner child thing. This is that, okay, I give so much credit, not complete credit, but so much credit to that chat thing, because that AI chat, what is it called? GPT? My friend Tori, my good sis Tori, she was like telling me about some of the things that it was helping her with. And I think my other friend Nina was telling me about like how it helped her with her podcast. And so I'm like, okay, going through a little bit of like a stagnation feeling, and feeling complacent, and like like feeling just kind of displaced for these last couple of few weeks, maybe about a month or two. I've been feeling like really displaced, and just like not connected to myself as much as I would like. And I don't know what made me ask GPT to like, I gave them the story behind the Walu child, where it originated from, what it meant to me. And then I said, tell me something about the Walu child that basically that I need to know. I'm paraphrasing, but it just broke down everything and how to reconnect with Walu, and that part of my energy. It was so beautiful. So I shaped my future content around that connection to Walu, if that makes sense. And basically, Walu's energy is going to be to help people tap back into their creative sides of themselves, or to creatively connect and to find joy and to connect with their inner child, to connect with their deep seated healing in a way that's more like um more directed. You know what I'm saying? Like, not directed in a way like it's just fixed and it's stiff, but more so like with a clear understanding of like what Walu brings to the table. Like, what makes Walu Walu, and how does that contribute in my readings? I even asked them to break down my reading style, and child, the answers that this thing gave me was like, it blew my mind, because I'm like, I could have never wrote that any perfectly. Like, I wouldn't even know how to describe myself as a messenger, as a reader. And the way that they broke that shit down, it helped me to accept myself as a reader a little bit more, because, or not just a reader, but just as an intuitive, how I deliver messages, whether it's through the cards or just through me as just completely as a vessel. Because I would beat myself up sometimes. Like, maybe people think I'm too harsh, or maybe people think that my readings are always too heavy, or sometimes maybe they're not heavy enough. But I have a certain style, which all readers do. Their gifts are different. Our gifts and callings are different. And so the way that they broke it down, I was like, I was shocked. I was a little scared. Like, wow. It was crazy. Um, just the way that they broke me down. I'm like, wow. Like, I really do. I want to help people embrace their shadow, but also bring about playful wisdom, be funny, because I have a, a little goofy side to me. I like to make light of things, like still keep it real, keep it serious, but also like it's okay. Like, life is funny that way. There's Make humor of the unknown, let's have a little lightheartedness. Let's challenge your expectations of yourself and of your journey. Like, be open, find empowerment in the uncertainty and the unknown, and in your shadow self. It's okay. Like, that's, you know that might not be everybody's, you know taste and style, but it is what it is. And so um I really want to connect back to Walu, because I do miss her. I do miss that. That's me. That's a part, an aspect of me that's been a part, an aspect of me since I was a child. Like, that essence, that energy, and I don't want to lose that. You know. And it's funny because even my daughter and my mom and other people are like, why'd you change your name? Like, Walu was so unique. Why'd you change it from Walu Child? It is unique. It's me. It's it. I don't know what baby Chinoa was really saying when she would call stuff Walus. I don't know. Maybe I was calling them flowers for real, or I was saying I was speaking another language. I don't know. But Walu is very special to me. So the theme and the energy is like, we're gonna find a way to revamp this whole thing, because I want to get back to me, and I feel like I had to go through the journey of just not just with my channel, because Walu, I feel like, is a part of my inner child and how I can express myself in multitude of ways, and of course YouTube, my channel, and other things that I creatively utilize as an outlet. Those are just extensions of me, but Walu is like a deeper concept to help not only myself, but of course other people that I'm meant to help, whether that's through the tarot or cards or whatever, just through life, whether it's through my sound healing, whether it's through the, um, you know, spiritual works that I do, like, the things that I curate, because I get inspired. Like, I made some Yemoya water. Like, I love stuff like this. Like, this might be the Tauran in me, the earth sign in me that likes to create like concoctions and herbs and candle like work and stuff like that. That's my shit. I don't know. Artsy, creative. I don't know. But when it comes to like the channel and how I want to help people, I just want to continue to help people connect deeper to their personal growth, through healing and um embracing their inner child's creative sides and playful sides, you know. Um I want a balance of playfulness, but still serious. I don't want everything to be so heavy. I want to keep things light. And, when it comes to like our emotional healing, whether it's self acceptance, whether it's me sharing my experiences, you know. Um, Sam, hey Sam, how are you, sis? Zaria, how are you, sis? I'm sorry, Zariah, how are you, sis? I'm sorry, I'm not checking the chat. Aw, I appreciate you, Sam. Yeah, I'm just trying to balance it all out, redirect, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we get lost in translation sometimes, but um, yeah. So I feel like just the benefits of what I would like to bring to you guys is really just better self-awareness and help with your healing and help you maybe with decision making and choices, like to not just think so surface level of life, like it has to be black and white, it has to happen a certain way. A part of the spiritual journey is the uncertainty. You're not never not going to go through a period of uncertainty. The fact, like, I feel like the tarot challenges that whole thing of, how do I explain it? It's like it challenges the whole shit. I don't know how to explain it. How do I explain this? I hate when I try to find the words. And I just got a notification that John B liked my story on Instagram. I'm all happy. I love some John B. Like, that's one of my favorite artists. Like, since a little girl. Like, my dad put me on to some good music when I was little. Like, I love R&B. But anyway, that's beside the point. No, but the spiritual journey is meant to be a uncertainty and embracing the uncertainty. Tarot, I feel like tarot is kind of like a way to challenge you in your thought, because it's really a metaphysical tool. It's not, this is what I learned about the tarot, and that's why I love it so much, because it's such a complex tool. Like, no matter who touches it, there's so many different ways you can interpret it if you really sit with it as a spiritual tool, not just looking at it from the Fool card means this and just sitting on that alone, but interpreting it in your own way and seeing the visuals and however you connect with it, and the spiritual, what jumps at you, the symbols, the messages, the colors, like what you hear, what you feel, what you sense when you look at the card, when you're holding the card. It's not meant to just be this one tool that says, oh, this is how your day is going to go. That's cheesy as fuck, in my opinion. Like, it gives you different layers of things. Like, you can approach the tarot in so many different facets. So, like, when I give readings to people, I always stress that don't sit on like it has to be a specific outcome. Sometimes our divine team wants us to journey through life, because we think we being slick when we pull some tarot. We think we being slick, thinking that the tarot is going to tell us our whole life story. And I know the movies tell you that. They'll say, "Oh, the cards never lie." So when the tower comes out, you're going to fall out of a building. The death card, oh, you're going to die. Like, like, no, that's not what it means. um, Hey Gabby, hey sis, how are you? Thank you. I appreciate you, sis. Is it Zariah? I hope I'm saying your name right. Zara. Let me know how to pronounce it. I don't want to butcher your name. Um, but yeah, it's like I don't know. It's an opportunity for you to, if you think you're going to get an answer, a yes or no answer directly, sometimes it won't give you that. Sometimes it'll give you a not an opposing answer, but almost like, think of it this way type of thing. Or what about this? Like, what if this isn't the only option? What if it could happen a different way? Or would you be open to, like, it gives you that. At least that's how I interpret it sometimes. I don't ever want to approach the tarot by like misleading people into thinking that it's going to be black and white. It may not be. There's a possibility that something would come of it in this way, or yes, you might get the job, or possibly if it's not this job, there's something that will come to you that's like this and that comes with this and that. You know what I mean? Like that's what I love about the tarot. It's not a tool to just ask, oh, how does this person feel? Are they coming back? Am I going to be successful? Am I going to get the job? Am I going to get the guy? Am I going to get the girl? Am I ever going to get married? And it's okay to ask that. But the tarot, the one thing I know about the tarot, something maybe, I don't know, maybe me in a past life was a tarot reader or something, or a messenger or something like that, because a part of me knows, like, I'm going to ask this question for you. I got you. Even these questions for myself. But how spirit works, it's always going to give me an alternative idea or thought or concept or perspective to ponder, and not just be like, yeah, it's just black and white. Because spirituality is a hidden language. It's a hidden language of the subconscious, of the inner self, the inner soul. It's not really meant to be externalized first, if that makes sense. Spirituality is meant to stretch you out a little bit. It's meant to for you to experience things. It's not meant to just be black and white and just like give you all the answers. That's like saying I'm a kindergartner and I'm worried about who I'm going to be in high school. Like, wait, let's go through the journey of being a kindergartner first before we even worried about who we're going to become in high school or how high school is going to be. Slow down. That's kind of how I feel about the tarot sometimes. Or let's say you go to a certain subject in college, you're learning about American studies or something in college, and you already have this idea of how it should go or what you're going to learn. And if you go into life like that, you're not going to learn anything. You're not experiencing, you're not taking in anything if you already jump shit or jump in thinking that, okay, this is the topic and the subject that I'm going into, but this is how I want it to go down. I want to learn about this person. I want to learn about that person. I wanted them to teach us this. I want them to like speak on this book and that book instead of just going through the process, going through the journey. You know what I mean? Like, I hope I'm making sense when I say that. And I feel like I've kind of like, maybe all tarot readers to an extent fall into the circus sometimes, especially like on social media. Like if you have a tarot business and you know the power of social media and content creation, specifically like YouTube and like TikTok and Instagram, and you feel that pressure to again follow the trend, become a part of the tarot circus with all these like fun titles and like thumbnails that jump at you like, ooh, I want to know my future. Ooh, I want to know what's to come. And you click on that shit and it's cute, and in some instances, yeah, you have gifted people that can interpret for you. And then there's just some of it that's like, is this really going to help me on my journey though? And that's where I get to. Like, you got to discern like what you're tapping into, and even as a messenger, what you bring to the table. And there's times where I feel like maybe, yeah, probably giving into the circus a little bit. But even when I'm in that energy somehow, and I get mad at myself during the readings, I'm like, fuck, why is it always got to get to the shadow shit? Why can't we just stick to like, why did this person ghost you? Why can't it be something like, oh, they're going to come back though? But I don't want that if that's not good for people though. I don't want it to be about, oh yeah, somebody coming back if that motherfucker is a stressful thing in your life. No matter how much you think you want that person, if that person is not good for you, I want that motherfucker coming back in your life. You know what I mean? Like, I think about a perspective like, if I was to get a tarot reading, I would want that person to keep it real with me. I would want them to tell me what they really see and what I need to work on, what I need to heal, what I need to prepare for. Like, give me the real. Don't fluff me out, because I feel like fluffing keeps you in a loop. Fluffing will keep you in a loop because I remember that like someone would give me this false sense of hope. Like, there was this one person, and I don't know if she really meant to do that or it was just because where she was at within her own journey as well, where it was kind of like holding on to this false hope and there was nothing going on. But I needed to learn that lesson. I don't want to blame her because I'm getting a reading. I'm the one that's receiving the reading. So I need to take down these notes. I need to discern what I'm getting. You know, I need to discern what am I seeing? What am I feeling? Um, you know, that's just really the gist of it. So like the store. Oh, okay, that helps. Yeah. So um I want to do like, well, how do y'all feel? Because I don't want to overwhelm myself because I'm not into the monthlies. I'm not into that. Um, if I do monthly readings, even though this also is a lot of energy because I've done it before, but like um instead of doing like separate like all 12 zodiacs as a monthly read, I was thinking maybe at least do like a live stream, where I put like the timestamp of each, you know what I'm saying? Like just one live. And I'll probably put this in the community tab as a poll, but like because sometimes it does help to have like that's why I feel like pick a card readings are um so popular because it gives you a variety almost to where it can be taken a little bit personal as a personal read, right? So it gives you that variety to not just sit and watch one collective reading or you know what I mean? So like when we do the monthly reads with the zodiacs, it does kind of give it more of a personal vibe, if that makes sense. Which I understand. So if you guys are open, you guys like monthlies, instead of me doing like 12 videos and burn myself out and probably possibly not getting no views hardly or no type of engagement. Because y'all don't know, like it's a lot. So I can only imagine like the people that sit up there and edit videos and put like music and stuff all in their intros and then like not get much views. Like that's but it's at the end of the day, like the aesthetics of the whole tarot thing, that's just to kind of create an atmosphere of, like it's taking you to a place. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you go to a tarot shop, it's a vibe, it's a set, like a cool setup. But at the end of the day, like without all the theatrics, it's about the message at the end of the day. But I wouldn't mind like if you guys are interested in that because I already do weekly readings on my Patreon. So if you guys are interested in that, where I do weekly reads every Saturday, um, y'all can check out my Patreon for that. But if you guys want like a zodiac thing, I could probably do it like in a live stream form with timestamps for each zodiac sign. As a tarot reader, I always give true, authentic messages. I always say I'm not the reader that will feed people's desperation and their fantasy, etc. Yeah, you have to. And it's not to say that beautiful, because I love to still give a, a silver lining at the end, because there is a silver lining at the end of your journey. And like, not even just at the end of your journey, but just like a journey at the moment. Let's say that part of your journey, there's silver lining. Like the moment that you're in where you're stressed, it's not going to last forever, obviously. Or if you're someone that desires love, like you will have that. You truly believe that. You truly um want that for yourself. You believe that for yourself. You will have that. You have to know that you're worthy of it. So that's not a lie. That's not a fluff. And I feel like sometimes when we hear things like that, we think that that's unrealistic. It's unrealistic to be sitting up here thinking that some dude that don't treat you right is your Prince Charming. Now that's delusion. Now to tell somebody that you are going to be in a healthy union, a healthy relationship, may not be with that dude that you wanted to be with right now, but if you allow yourself to be open to what's really healthy for you, you will have the person of your dreams, meaning not the specific person maybe that you're fixated on, but the person that's right for you, right? That's not unrealistic. That's real shit. That's more realistic than telling somebody that, like I said, somebody that's emotionally or any kind of way abusive towards you is, oh, sit around and sit back, they're going to come back. I tell people straight up about these dudes that they be asking about too. Like, some of these dudes is just a hot mess. And it's up to you what you're going to do with that. You can wait for that person if you want to, because you're going to be waiting, most likely. Or you take matters into your own hands and move on. Because oftentimes, like, sometimes we have to hear it multiple times. Like, I understand a person has to process what's going on and like go through what they need to go through until they're done. I've been there in relationships with people where my family could tell me that this person wasn't shit, and because I wasn't done with them, I knew I was miserable, or I knew that this wasn't healthy for us, or it wasn't right, it wasn't meant to be. But because I wasn't done, I didn't get all that I felt like I needed to understand or learn, or I kept trying and trying and trying. It sometimes it takes you going through that process until you finally decide what you want to do. But there's been points where I've had to tell people, I'm not reading on this person anymore. Do not ask me about him anymore. Because some of these people is like blatantly like these men that they be asking about, like, sis, like, no, this dude, like, clearly, like, I'm telling you in a multitude of ways, this dude ain't shit. Like, no, I'm not reading on this for you anymore. I've had to do that before, out of respect of my energy and myself and my divine team. And not only that, that person, like, I can't condone this anymore. I can't. I'm not going to do it. I've had to do that before. Yeah. I think it's time. Let me see. I think it's time for a shift. Some of these new readers describe some of the most chaotic situations. Yeah. Um, that's why I kind of got turned out by the twin flame stuff for a little bit, at least like the readings I was seeing. I'm like, y'all can't be serious. Y'all calling everything divine, like a divine feminine, divine masculine. This don't sound divine at all. This sounds like a toxic person, in my opinion. They're not operating in divinity at all. This is some low vibrational shit. I'm tired of hearing about somebody's mama calling the cops on somebody and the karmics doing this. That type of stuff is just like, what the fuck am I watching? Is this Zeus Network tarot? Like, what is this stuff? And this is where, hush, girl. This is where discernment comes in, because as a reader, and I'm sure like anybody else that is a reader that reads for other people, including themselves, you always want to check your energy, because it's so easy to spill your shit, your drama, stuff you got going on in yourself, or like your negative headspace into a reading. So you have to be careful with that. So sometimes it could be a little bit of that going into readings, or people just be doing that shit because they're toxic themselves. Let me let this girl out. Girl, you hear your man? Yeah, that's my brother. My dog, it's her little boyfriend. I'm just, but no, yeah, like sometimes it could be a little bit of like their energy going into it as a reader, and then sometimes it's just because it's that's the type of stuff they know gets them views, and it's sad because what type of low vibrational energy are people in to want to sit and watch that type of shit? Like, I can't sit and watch videos talking about your ex got herpes and he still misses you and his karmic is jealous of you, and the cops is coming and taking the kids, the CPS is coming to take. Like, what kind of stuff is this? Like, what am I watching? Like, what is it? I done seen some crazy titles. I'm like, this is some crazy ass shit. And I can't even knock it, because I know like there's some people out there that's probably really going through that, but it's just like, why? If y'all can give me like another perspective of why that wants to come through, maybe to help or warn somebody. But some of it just be like, I'm listening to um I'm listening to a drama story. Like, what's those shows called? Like Days of Our Lives, like a soap opera. I'm literally listening to a soap opera right now. Like, there's no solutions. There's nothing to help me sit with this to give me food for thought. There's no advice. It's just like you're just telling me a situation. Oh, this person did this. Oh, when this motherfucker, they watching you, they stalking you, and this mother, like, okay, sis, come on now. And sometimes I'll beat myself up and be like, like, maybe my shit ain't toxic enough. Maybe I need to make my read. No, I'm just like, no, I would never. Fuck that. Never. But like sometimes stuff like that will come through. But where is the solution and the resolution or the advice to navigate through such a thing? And if is it healthy guidance? You know what I mean? Because sometimes you do need to know certain stuff, but if it's just like those drama filled stories and like, oh, this karmic over here, she doing spell work and she's jealous of you and she doing glamour spells, this bitch could never be you and all this stuff. That stuff is like, it's entertainment. It's fun. It's funny, right? A little bit. Might even feed the ego a bit, like, this bitch jealous, right? Like it might do that to a person. But like, what's the healthy effect of that shit? Like, what is it really helping you with? That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't know. Like in tarot la la world land, I don't know. Like those type of readings, I just don't know. Y'all gonna have to help me understand it. Okay, because I don't get it. I truthfully and honestly, wholeheartedly don't understand like why those readings need to be, you know. Um Gabby, yeah, so she said anything that focuses on a karmic, I don't even click on that because I don't care about no karmic. And furthermore, she says, I can tell when some readers' energy is janky, and I'll be like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. Some people come towards, Gabby says, some people come towards readers and expect us to give what they want to hear without without making real changes. But some readers feed these toxic situations because they are toxic themselves. Yeah. And I asked myself one day if I should this type of toxic topics, but nah, I can't. The karmic reads. Yeah. Um, Ironically, I have a karmic deck. It was given to me um as a gift. I think she said she accidentally got two of them and she sent the other one to me. I'm like, cool. Because those readings have helped in the past, they have helped. I want to say this. It is a fine line between trying to discern somebody's energy towards you versus becoming like too engulfed in what people think about you. And those type of readings too. I don't knock the readings because like readings that talk about somebody's energy towards you, a person that doesn't like you's energy towards you, a karmic or something like that, because you might need to do spiritual protection or just like keep it moving, don't pay them no mind. It helps you give insight. But when you fixate on like making a whole thing out of just focusing on karmic, me personally, I don't understand that. I don't want to be disrespectful if that's somebody's like um expertise in readings is like karmic partners or karmic reads. I don't want to knock that because there could be different ways that you could help people with that. But if it's like the telenovelas version and the Zeus network, the love and hip hop version of a tarot reading, I don't want nothing to do with that. Now I'm moving smooth past like like no, that's not the reality I want to be in. Is like that's not the reality. But there's times where I'll feel led to like, okay, where is your ex at with you? Because some people might be stuck on their ex. Maybe they need closure. Maybe they need advice on why it's a good idea to let it go, or they just went through a breakup or something. That's okay. But if you just focus on an ex, like that's not gonna help nobody. It's not gonna help anybody at all. It's not. Yeah, no more Zeus Network reads. Like we're just. I'm tired of seeing that. Not everybody and yes, nowadays people are so into just hexing people like it's nothing like a happy meal. Like I'm handing out just hexing people. Like let me get a order of hexing this bitch that cut me off on the road. I screenshotted her license plate. So now I'm gonna take her to the altar and like make her hair fall. Like people just so stupid. Like people are crazy as fuck. Like it takes nothing for people to be like, oh, this bitch, she didn't give me the job. Okay, I'm gonna hex this bitch. Put her business card in, I don't know, in a jar or some shit. Everybody got to be in the jar now. It's just everybody just got to do this jar stuff. Let me put this motherfucker in the jar. Like y'all are crazy as fuck. With that, like people that do that, like y'all don't know the consequences of the shit y'all be doing. Y'all just be doing shit, like literally. Um, but anyhow, so it's not always like people out here doing spell work. Like those readings, I feel like some of that be clickbait. Some of it be like, oh, let me see. Oh, what's going on? Like I know, and I'm gonna be a little bit raw, little bit more honest in this perspective. Um, because I feel like some of these people on here are literally putting witchcraft on people through readings. And what I mean by that is like these people, they like some readers, and if you're guilty of this, you get mad, it's on you. Like if you ain't doing that, you ain't got no reason to get mad. It is what it is. But if you're out here like putting spell work, like some of these big ass channels, and one of them confirmed what I felt back in 2020. I'm like, because my friend would send me this one big tarot reader. She would get like millions of views. And my friend would send me like her pick a card. It's like, oh, you should watch this. And I was like, something about it just is like, nah, I'm not watching that. And she's come out and I guess denounced tarot and like um saying that how she was getting her messages was through psychedelics and channeling spirits and stuff like that. And I was like, what the fuck did you think? Because I knew it. I'm like, not to say that you can't have a big channel and like really be tapped in and tuned in a healthy way, or like tapping into divine beings or your higher self or God's source in a healthy way. But sometimes I'll be like, some of this shit be like dark, like black magic that be capturing people, pulling them in, like kind of like a dark energy behind it. And I'm like, something about it just don't feel right. It's like, what movie is it that's coming to mind in my head? No, it was a Sailor Moon episode. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a tarot or psychic theme or something, and this psychic was really like one of the dark beings from the dark, because they all have villains in every episode of Sailor Moon, and these particular villains, they know who the Sailor Guardians are. Furthermore, they know who Sailor Moon is, like who she really is, like her highest self, her past life self. So that's why I love Sailor Moon, because it talks about spiritual warfare in a way that's like, hey, Lonnie. It talks about spiritual warfare in a way that's like it's shows kids that, but if you're an adult, you can still identify with it. You can like see in a animated way, in a real life way, how spiritual warfare works. So like these demonic beings from these other planets, they came and was disguised, I think it was like one of them came in disguise as a psychic, and all of the kids were like interested in getting readings or whatever and asking, and then like they would ask about their crushes. I think Sailor Moon asked about a crush, and then the little boy that was into her, he asked about her, and it was like they put some type of trance or spell on them. And once they figured out that something was wrong with these readings, that's when that spirit unveiled itself. And that's when they went into battle. I really believe this, and I'm getting chills all over my body. Some of these readers out here, and I'm not just talking about YouTube readers, these could be readers in your neighborhoods, these could be readers on other social media platforms, renowned readers and stuff like that. Some of these people are working for dark forces. You cannot tell me. And they cloak it and they make it look really good. And that's why I want to say, that's why I like to talk about spiritual warfare, because it is real. You cannot come out here just looking at something on the surface and thinking that it's good. You have to use your discernment, because these spirits can cloak themselves really good. You can sit and watch a reading and it could be like light and fluffy, have all the great titles, and the person can be, oh, greetings and namaste. Oh my God, just valley girling it out, or have the full blown spiritual look. They got the crystals on, and they got the I don't know, the singing bowls all on their walls and shit. They got the shit that's gonna capture your attention, but this motherfucker is a dark being. Like, if they're not literally like a dark being, like, because I do believe that some people ain't human. I do believe that. I do believe that. Or just people operating in the dark for dark forces knowingly. I'm not talking about people that don't know it. I'm talking about people that know that they're working for dark forces. And so it looks good. That shit looks like picture perfect, like what you think spirituality should look like. This person looks like the poster child for tarot. And they just, they just got it. They're saying all the right words, all the right lingos. They speak really well, and they're telling you what you want to hear and shit like that. But there's something to it. And I'm not saying that this particular tarot reader is a dark entity, but what she said, it made me, it confirmed my convictions about how I felt when I look at her channel. She was tapping into things that were dark. I think I'm gonna do a video on Sailor Moon again, because I've done several. I think I've talked about it in different ways, like glossed over. Um, I've glossed over like some of the stuff. I'll talk about the divine partnership aspect in Sailor Moon, the past lives in Sailor Moon, the higher self, and a little bit of spiritual warfare. But I think I'm going to highlight the spiritual warfare aspect of Sailor Moon a little bit more, because like every show or movie, usually there's a protagonist and there's an antagonist. And so the Sailor Guardians and all of that, they're the protagonists. They're the fighters of love on the universe and in the planet. Um, and then you have the antagonists, which are the dark forces that are trying to basically steal from, I think they want that crystal, if I'm not mistaken. Like, the whole premise is they want um this particular crystal. And that, you notice, like in movies, just like in Wakandas and the Black Panthers and stuff like that, there's always something that all these different beings covet and they want. But when I think about that, what is that substance? What is that matter? What is that crystal? What does it mean? Is it an essence of creation? Is it energy, like pure energy, pure essence, pure soul? Like, what is that? I always wondered that. But I'm gonna sit with the Sailor Moon thing, and I'm gonna come up with like a topic around spiritual warfare and Sailor Moon, and I'm gonna do a video on that, or a live stream or something. But yeah, I would just say, like, we got to be more discerning nowadays, and not just like spirituality in the spiritual community, but just anything. Like, and celebrities are a prime example of not to worship another human being. Like, you cannot do that. Because their thing is, they have to sell a brand. They have to sell you a persona, because that is how they make money. And they show up with that, even to the point that maybe it's exhausting for them to have to like walk in this persona or this manufactured image that's not really them behind closed doors. That's not really their pure authentic self, but people fall in love with that image. And when anything happens that goes against it, or someone speaks against it, because I don't know about y'all, but some of these celebrities that they talking about, all this stuff that's going on with, I'm not surprised. um I'm not. And I feel like some of the people that still like kind of like moving and like kind of shifting around certain things, it's like, y'all gonna see. Like, y'all gonna see. Because people really literally, like, when I say literally worship celebrities, they have churches and Bibles for some of these celebrities. Like, they can get away with the most problematic things, and we just overlook it, or we don't say anything about it, or we get upset and we'll attack somebody online, and like to the point of people fighting and sending death threats to each other. Like, that's insane to me. But yeah, I love Sailor Moon. That's one of my favorite shows. Like, as an adult, like, some people might be like, oh, it's a cartoon, it's an anime, that's childish. No, that shit, like, animes, something about animes, they always have like these deep spiritual like topics and concepts. And if you like don't know what you're looking at, you're just thinking, oh, this is just like battles and wars and like, TV movie shit. No. Sometimes it's literally like telling you how spiritual warfare works, how spiritual gifts work too. Like some of these shows and these movies. Ah, Gabby says she loves Sailor Moon. It's because of Sailor Moon. She started her spiritual journey at 9 years old. She was an astrology girl at a young age because of Sailor Moon. Yeah. Mhm. Like it's one thing to admire celebrities. Like I admire celebrities' artistry more than anything because I know like sometimes you feel like you're connecting with them when they tell you their story, but some of that shit can even be fabricated, like how they got discovered and all of that. Like some of it might be manufactured. Maybe not every single thing about their story, their journey is manufactured, but really the art. Because I've been cried at some concerts before, not because of the artist, but because of the song, like what it took me back to or what it helped me through. Like, so music touches you in a way, or your favorite actor, like Denzel Washington can act his ass off, but that don't mean like to him. Like, you don't know him like that. Shoot, they just come on, do their little interviews, walk around on the red carpet, and all of a sudden, like they're just this high and mighty person. Oh, there's such a prestigious man, a man of his family. Like, you don't know that. He could be cheating on his wife. You don't fucking know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no. No. But I don't even know what were we talking about? let's bring it back because I feel like my lives be a little too long. But I just wanted to come on here and touch base with y'all. I'm most likely going to change my channel back to Walu in some capacity. I don't know how or in what way because it's trademarked, so I can use it whenever I want to use it. But I want to focus more on like, hmm, more so. I want to kind of have a feel for the type of content that I want to create, but still keep in mind what others want to see, but still do it in my own flavor, in my own way that I feel like is healthiest, but still lighthearted. So like the Walu Child readings I've made my own readings that I want to do on here too, like just tailored to. So whoever said that, I think it was Celestial. She said, I thought you were gonna do a Walu Child reading. I am. Not on this live, but I am, because I do have a Walu Child reading that specifically like fits Walu. And then I have another spread. I don't want to say what it is, but it is based off of like a childhood favorite. Like everybody probably seen this movie, probably one of their favorite movies. And I wanted to tap into the energy for those who sometimes feel displaced in the world, don't feel like they belong sometimes, or they feel detached or disconnected, or they don't feel like they have a community or whatever. I wanted to tap into that type of energy and help people. So me and the chat GPT came up with a dope ass spread. I gave it what I'm looking for, what I want to tap into, what I want to talk about, how I want to help, and it created something so dope, in my opinion. I can't wait to do this reading because I feel like it will help people. I love it. So I might do it in a pick a card form. For this one, yeah. So I'm not a pick a card reader channel, but I do like doing pick a card readings. So I do like that. Um, So yeah, if you guys wanna see more like the zodiac reads, I'm most likely not gonna do them in 12 separate videos. Most likely it would be in a live stream form with timestamps next to each zodiac. That's most likely how I would do that. And if you guys want to see weekly readings, like I said, you guys can join my Patreon. So yeah. So based off of the suggestions, I got readings about spiritual journeys. I think I missed one. Someone said something about a deceased loved ones, but more so like what would they want to tell you or how they want to assist you or help you in your journey or something like that. I got y'all. I'm not done with the deceased loved one readings. I still have some to go. I just need to take a break from those. One of them, the last one I did, was way too heavy for me. Like it had me in tears. I'm like, I can't tap into this shit. Like it's too much. It's way too much. But the spiritual journey ones, I definitely want to tap into that. Um, what else? Someone had, and I was sitting on this for a minute too, because I'm like, I do want to do divine partnership readings again, but I want to approach it from more of a healthier way and more like spiritually mature than when I used to do them, if that makes sense. So that, let's see, what else? I had a suggestion to do the pick of cards with the songs. Like, remember how I used to do like an artist, and I would have like a song that you could choose for your pile. Um, those are really fun. I used to enjoy doing those actually a lot. I enjoy doing those. Takes a lot of energy. I just had to find the energy to get back to certain, just because it's been a minute. Because sometimes I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I'm like, what am I really doing this for? Like, I know that I'm supposed to help people, but it's like a point sometimes where it feels kind of exhausting a little bit, in a sense that you feel um like your efforts are for naught sometimes. And I have to ask, like, why do I feel that? Like I have to sit with that at times, like, well, what does that mean that it's not for naught? And you get discouraged when you see the numbers drop sometimes and stuff like that. Like, that's natural, of course. And then what brings you back to center is like, okay, it could be a multitude of reasons. Like, it could be bots, it could be people that just no longer resonate, and that is fine. It could be um, a lot of different things. It could be whatever. But whoever's supposed to be and whoever's supposed to come, cool. But it is a little bit like, you know what I mean? And then that spirit of comparison of like, okay, well, what am I doing wrong? Like, what is it? But no, it's just, that's just how it goes. This is what it is, I guess. Is how it happens. Um, the letting go of the whole trendy thing or being popular, like, what does that really matter if it be that if it's not something that attracts the right people? Because when I say the right people, I'm not talking about like, oh, perfect people. What I mean by the right people is who's ever supposed to get what they need in a healthy way, people that I'm supposed to help, and whatever my messages are or whatever the delivery is, that it's meant to reach who it's supposed to and it's supposed to help, rather than it just appealing to just anybody and everybody just watching it just because, like, just some basic level shit, and just I just want to watch a tarot reading on something that is nonsense. Like, I don't know. Kind of like a Stanley Cup. It's just like, why does everybody feel the need to want to have one? Why do we need to have that? But I don't know if that makes sense. Wow. I just seen something that, wow, that this is, wow. Divine right time. Mm, wow. Yeah, that's why I feel like I gotta do that one. I'm gonna do this one reading. I'm gonna do it soon. So just be on the lookout for that, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing today. I don't know if I'm still going to one of my cousins' little girl's birthday party today. I don't know. I really don't know. Because I like my Saturdays to just be me, just chilling. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, Sailor Moon is definitely not for little girls alone, just for kids. It's definitely not. Cartoons and movies, yeah. Yeah, I know. I know how that feels. I definitely know how that feels, sis. And my channel, I know how. how things work to an extent, like a system, how things work. People will gravitate towards things that are light and fluffy or that fluff them and keep them comfortable. Because when I was in my baby stage, reading on Twin Flames, people loved that shit. Them people was flocking to my channel. That's probably the only reason why I have as many subscribers as I have, because of those Twin Flame readings. And like I said, if somebody can prove to me that somebody did divine masculine readings before me, send it to me, because I remember distinctively, no one on YouTube hardly was doing twin. It was not as saturated as it was. There was only two other people that I could name that were doing twin flame readings. I've never seen it. And so when I started doing those separate reads, like the feminine energy and the masculine energy, I think that was like, people was like, "Ooh," like it was something people wanted to see. Like, I want to know about the other person's energy. I want to see where they're at. I thought that, that was helpful. That was very innovative to do from that perspective. So I think that's why my channel grew so much. And when I said that I was not going to be doing twin flame readings anymore, and I felt like the twin flame thing was like not a healthy concept, oh, people was mad as fuck. And I did lose a little bit of subscribers, but um my readings at the time really tailored to, or appealed to a certain audience, where I focused a lot on love in a sense of the other person. And I can't really recall, because to be honest, at that time, me really focusing on what I needed to heal, I was not really that tapped in and that aware of myself, of where I needed to heal so much. So my messages didn't really tap too much into, maybe I talked about things with wounding or where the woundings were, but not really tapping into the work, because I wasn't doing it on myself completely. So I feel like my readings more so focus on the surface of like, okay, this is what's going on in the love relationship. This is how this person feels about you. And this is a divine connection. And that appealed to people, a lot of people, because let's keep it 100. Like I said earlier, it is not an easy thing for people to deal with themselves in a level of where it hurts, where it's a harsh truth of certain areas of yourself or certain levels of yourself. It's easy to stay in that place of just light and fluffiness. And even furthermore, when the energy is more so projected on or about another person, where you're just externalizing it, and it's all about, okay, when are me and this person gonna come together though? Or where is this person at with me though? And it's like not about the self journey. It's not about, okay, well, what's going on with you? What is it that is keeping you separated? Once you get into that, some people will either want to hear it because they want to know, what do I need to do to get out of separation? But when it comes to, well, it's you partially. It's not always about the other person, because when you deal with that twin flame stuff, typically the runner is the person that's not watching the videos most of the time, right? And it's always the runner's fault why they're running from you, because they're scared. They're not ready for you. They're not ready for union, and they still have work to do. But what about you though? You still watching these shits. So that means that there's something that you're still focused on another person, solely on another person. There's nothing wrong with caring or wondering or still desiring a thing. But when you're overly fixated on it, you're taking your focus off of internal self to external things. So that appeals to people that, when you just hear about where someone's at with you and when are they coming back, and when are you guys going to get out of separation, rather than what do I need to do, not to get at, like, let me work on myself or do that, because you can't fake the funk vibrationally. Just like people said, you can't play God and like think that you're going to trick God into giving you a blessing. If, well, okay, it's like Santa Claus, like, oh, Santa Claus, I know Santa Claus is coming, so let me pretend that I'm asleep, and then Santa Claus will come, type thing. Like, I'll just wait and pretend. Like, you can't do that. It's like vibration is everything. When we say divine timing, the fixation spirit is real. Yeah. When you like focus on something vibrationally, you're not in alignment to when you're constantly focused on it, because the energy that you're in is saying, I'm realizing I don't have it. That's law of attraction 101. When you're constantly thinking about something, your energy like your vibration is saying, is aware, like it's saying, I don't have it. So therefore, you're not really in a receptive energy because you feel like you're without it. When you're in the flow of your journey and you let shit go, and I know this for a fact, there's things that I've wanted to manifest for years, telling you, years. When you let shit go, it will come to you if it's meant to. It will. It always will. And even if it's not meant for you, sometimes it will come around to see, okay, here it is, but do you really want it? Because sometimes when things do come back around, you might not be like, oh, I don't really want it, or it's not all I thought it was going to be. Divine timing is not really a concept of hours, months, days, minutes, years, weeks. It's not really based off of that. Divine timing is a vibrational energy. So, like, if you want to ask, and this is why I do not like prediction readings that are like too set in stone. I've been able to predict things like on point to an extent, like as far as like seasons, like I feel like something's going to happen during fall season or something like that, or within a year or something on Sunday. I've been pretty accurate with certain things, but to just keep it at that, that's not realistic. Yeah, that's a good idea. Hold on, let me screenshot that real quick, Ilani, so I can, okay, write that down as a topic. Um, yeah, Ilani said it would be a good reading to teach us how to release, detach, and not fixate so we can get back to normal vibrational alignment. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Because really, vibrational alignment, like, that's divine timing, and divine timing is vibrational alignment. So, like, if you want to ask the tarot, oh, when am I going to meet my partner, my future spouse? Well, it may not be so precise as like, oh, you're going to meet on September the 14th or something. It's not going to be that precise, all the, like, it could be, there's a possibility that sometimes things like that can happen. The collective needs that more than anything. Yeah, I agree. It's more so like, are you in the place? Like the person, they're their own separate entity. You can't worry about when they're going to get it together, because when it's right, when they get it together and you get it together, and that's the right time for you both to come together. What isn't, it's not about perfectionism and being perfect. It's like the right vibration for the energy that you're asking for. So if you're asking for a healthy relationship, but you're still an unhealthy partner in some way, a healthy person is not going to put up with that. And you got to be realistic. If not, you're acting like a child with a temper tantrum to think that if someone was to say to you, you want a healthy man or woman, but you still do certain things are toxic or unhealthy, or you still messing with men that are wasting your time, or women that are not the wife that you said you're seeking, or whatever the case may be. You're still messing with people that are not for you, or um you have a lot of selfish ways about you, but you want a partner to be all about you. Your vibrational alignment is not going to put you together with somebody that is going to be a loving partner that shows up, that gives and compromises. Because that person, that's not a vibrational alignment. So to get upset if somebody tells you, like, well, okay, well, then you need to like work on that. You can't bring that into a relationship. And yes, there's things that are best healed when it's two partners coming together. Sometimes it takes two to work through things, because when you get into a union together, you're going to have ups and downs, and it's a choice whether you guys show up for each other or not. That's what's going to keep your love going, is showing up for one another, showing up for your union, even at times where it's not easy. Limerence, ooh, yeah, the topic of limerence, ooh, child, that limerence topic right there, like, I feel like that topic alone, because honestly, if a lot of us would just be honest, even if it's like past, because I know in the past I've been limerent quite a bit. And it's very easy to go there. But when I think about where I was within those times, it's always because I'm externalizing an experience. And subconsciously, I know, but that situation, at least not at the time where I was, that situation was going to work out. It's like we will focus on something if we're absent within ourselves, like we're not showing up for ourselves emotionally, or we want to separate from the boringness of our life, or we're discontent with something, or we don't like things about ourselves, or we feel emotionally empty, we'll fixate on the thing that actually is mirroring back to you the emptiness that you feel, because it's something that you can't have. But for some reason, it feels so good to like desire something that you can't have, or that you shouldn't want, really, or that's not available to you. It feels like kind of, it's like a sick, twisted thing if you think about it. It's like you're torturing yourself emotionally and spiritually when you do that. You're trying to entertain like something that you know is not for you, or never meant for you, or that you're not supposed to have. You know better, right? You know that it's not something that you have, but it feels good to think about it. Um, it's almost like a disassociation from reality too. And so like you'll play with the fantasy of the possibility of it, and but a part of you knows that it's safer this way because I don't really have to show up emotionally for this. You know what I mean? Like when people say when a person is emotionally unavailable, it's most likely because you're emotionally unavailable when you're attracted to that person, because you're not available emotionally. So you don't have to give anything real to this. You can play pretend in your heart and in your mind with this. You can flirt with it. Even if the limerence is like you're actively really dealing with the person. You're actively dealing with the person, but like this person's not giving you a real commitment. But you're still playing house with that person. That is two people. Situationships, basically all situationships are two people that are emotionally unavailable that want a relationship, but they're not ready to show up for a real relationship. So they'll settle for the play pretend relationship. That's all a situationship is. That's all it is. You know? Yeah, it happens to the best of us. Like it's almost like a childhood trauma thing too. Like I remember I would fantasize a lot. I would spend a lot of time fantasizing as a child. Like I remember having depression as early as probably like 12 or 13 years old. It's the first time I ever really can recall of dealing with depression. And that's crazy to say, like at 12 or 13 years old. But I had like a depressive state in my preteens, and I would spend a lot of time in my room fantasizing, like disassociating and going and pretending to be like living a completely different life than what I actually was living. Always. So yeah, that trauma and that escapism and that limerence of just like escapism. And when it comes to desiring something, we always, when we feel an emptiness with ourselves, we will try to place it in finding it in another person or objects or some sort of persona or um, status or title or label of ourselves. Like we'll attach ourselves to these things. But limerence is like pretty much, it's pretty dangerous if you think about it. Like the at least maybe a certain degree, maybe not commonly, but I feel like it can be a dangerous thing um for some people. Yeah. Limerence is like a, I remember when I came across that topic, I was like, God damn, call a bitch out. But it's very common though, like more than we would think. It's very common. Um But a lot of people be thinking they're in love. It's like, no, you are in love with the idea that you created in your mind about someone. You, especially if you don't know them or you don't know them personally. All it is just a factuation, an ideal of a person. Like you don't really know, or you idealize things about that person maybe that you do know, and you like these things about them. But if it's not something where, because I feel like this is how you know you're really in love with the person. If you've seen the ugliest side of this person, or a side that's not always attractive, or it could be something that annoys you about this person, but you love them anyway, that is how you know that you genuinely love a person. But if it's only if you keep up with the character that I've created of you in my mind, or as long as you make me feel good in my fantasy, that is not real love. That is not real love. And it's not real love to say that no matter how bad you treat me, because if you're in love with somebody that treats you bad, first of all, you can't really be in love with them because you don't love yourself at that point. If you're in love with some, or you say that you love, or you're in love with someone that treats you like shit, you're tripping. Yeah, you're tripping. Can you care and love a person that may be an asshole? Yes, because we got family members that we don't like things about them, but that's our family and we love them at the end of the day. But to be in love, like this is somebody that I want to be in a loving relationship with, like I want this person to carry me in love. They don't have the space or the capacity to do that. So you can't possibly be in love with somebody like that. You're tripping. That's limerence too. Like there's no way in hell. And our concept of love is based off of a feeling, and that's not the case. Love is a active choice to show up for someone because you care about them, because you want to do life with them. It's not about as long as you make me feel good. That's why people go through divorces and shit like that, because they are in love with the high. And let's not even get into the topic of sex and attraction, because that plays a role in what people think is love as well, and it's not. That's just attraction. That has nothing to do with love. Because I've been in love with people that some might say that he is not all that cute, or he's not all that fine. Oh, he's too skinny. He's too this. He's like, what do you see in him? Like, yeah, they might not be the finest thing, but I like him. But if it's just based off, oh, girl, he's so fine. Oh my God, did you see? Oh, he's so hot. Oh my God. Oh, she's so bad. Like, if you're not in love with them, literally, like common sense, like you're just in lust with that person. Literally, that's it. Love versus lust, limerence. Yeah, yeah. And I like this analogy that Spirit gave me. Like it was like the wedding dress and the tuxedo analogy or metaphor, whatever. That we could there's a desire that you have in your heart. The basis of your desire says, I want to be married. I want to be married to a person that a love that's like X, Y, and Z, and where we grow old together and blah 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 blah, right? And then you go around subconsciously looking for this person that you have in your heart space, that desire, not a face, a name, a body type, a skin tone, a race, none of that. You just go in with the concept of the template of the type of person you want, the type of union you want in love. And you go around looking for that in every person you meet, and you try to place that tuxedo on that person, or that dress, that gown, that wedding gown to fit that person. And either it's too big or it's too small for them, but you'll try to tailor fit it to make it be that person. That's kind of like what I feel sometimes when we get lost in that. We get lost in that, and we try to make the person that we look at and be like, oh, because I want this in a relationship, and I like some things about this person, or I might be attracted to this person, or I feel like there's certain things about the connection I like, but there's something always going to be amiss. Something in your spirit will always tell you something is not for you, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's whatever it is. Something in your spirit will always tell you, there's always going to be that inkling that something is not for you. But because you want something so bad, you'll try to nip and tuck and sew and cut the tuxedo or the gown to fit a person that's not meant to fit it, you know? It's like the whole glass slipper thing with Cinderella. Like, I find it funny and ironic that he wasn't really looking at the women's faces. He was looking at their feet, seeing like who would fit, who would be able to walk in these shoes. It's like he had an experience, he had a vibe exchange with Cinderella. And yeah, he might have thought she was pretty, but the fact that he had to go around putting on a shoe just to figure out who it was instead of saying, "Oh, you ain't her because you don't look like her." "Oh, it can't be you because you don't look like her. She has blonde hair and you have dark brown hair. It's not you." Or she's shaped like this and you're shaped like, yeah, it's not you. He didn't go off of that. He went off of who fit the shoe. So he's looking at who fits, who can walk in these shoes, who can walk in this path. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to force fit or someone to fit in the shoe or just choose her based off of what she looks like. So I feel like that's telling. Um, when you're looking for something in love, because we're talking about love right now, when you're looking for something in love, you have to really go off the vibes. And it's funny too, I noticed like when people get older, like older people, like people in my family, one of them, he's an older man. He was like, "We're not going off of cuteness no more. We going off of like who's the best partner for us. Like I'm over the looking for the cutie, like the basically the cutie pies and stuff like that, or a type. I want somebody that I can connect with because he's ready to settle down. Yeah, he's ready to settle down. So like instead of looking for, oh, she got to be this, this, and that, and like no. And it's not to say that you shouldn't be attracted. You shouldn't, it's not to say that you shouldn't be attracted to your person. Yes. But if you're just solely going off of that, that's what gets people caught up. I'm telling you. And that's like a young girl, young boy thing. Because when I was younger, like I would focus on how good somebody looked, even if they didn't have anything really going for them, or it's just like, you know, what is that called? It's called the halo effect. Like a attractive person can get away with murder. Literally, we've seen it in live time, like serial killers having women sending them love letters and shit. It's a halo effect. Ooh, it's 11:11. Yep, it's 11:11 a.m. where we are. But yeah, people be really caught up in the superficial thing, and I'm just like, what are you not seeing? And I understand the whole thing of like, as a woman, you want stability. So being attracted to partners that have financial stability or seem to like have some level of power and status is attractive to a lot of people, which is why women are attracted to politicians. They're attracted to athletes and like basically celebrities, because in their mind, this is a person of status and stature, someone that has a high profile career, they have money, they have this, they can afford this and that. That's natural to be drawn to that. It's just natural. But the problem is that the overlooking the treatment, the overlooking, can this person actually show up emotionally, or is this person just a superficial, extension to my life? That's it. There's nothing wrong with being attracted to a beautiful woman or a model or something. Like people like things that are pleasing. But if you're just going off, of, oh, well, she fine though, so you're just gonna put up with some bullshit because she fine, that's stupid. And the most stupidest thing I hear women say is that they can't leave a man alone because they dig is good. Like that child, you could find, you know, good sex in someone. I'm sure, I'm 100% guaranteed somebody that's healthier for you. I'm pretty sure you can. Don't let the sex be the weapon that keeps you stuck and trapped in a situation. That within itself is a whole nother topic. That's why I'm like, sex in dating situations is not really the best. Because as much as humans, especially women, will say, "Oh, I don't get emotionally attached," I don't. To some capacity, you are. You might not think you're emotionally attached, but if you're not emotionally attached, then you are spiritually attached in a way where if you can't give up sex with someone that you know is not good for you, or you know is not here for the long term, but you want to keep it around, like you have to keep it around, there's something wrong. It's something wrong. You should be able to do that. It should, if you're not attached to something, it shouldn't be a problem to let it go because you're not attached, right? Something's attached to you, obviously you have to detach yourself in some way. right? So if you can't, that means there's an attachment there. That is how you know. And it could be a sneaky link. Why are you attached to a sneaky link if it's nothing? You feel what I'm saying? Food for thought. Yeah, sex is real. I don't advise it in the beginning stages of a dating situation because you're not going to be in your right mind with that person. You're not. Naturally, you're not. And don't let the sex be good, especially if it's good. You're not going to be in your right mind with that person when you're interacting with them. You're not. So sex shouldn't even be in the equation until you really like know that you like that person, let alone love them or like some sort of standards. But I understand people have needs like out here. We got needs, you want to, but just everything you have to move with caution. And not every situation can be easily just knocked off as, oh, I'll just get a spiritual bath or oh, I'll just no. You don't know what them type of energies that person is carrying. What type of exchange you're going to have. If they're actively having sex with other people, don't think that they're not having those attachments connected to you either. Like y'all got to think about shit like this. It's not as simple as getting your kitty cat scratched or getting your you know what wet and you're good, you're done. You got your fill. You got that energy release off of you, but then what was the exchange? Y'all see, y'all not ready. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready for this conversation. Oh my God, I could go in on this, but I don't know if y'all ready for that because there's a transaction, honey. I'm telling you, it's beyond just the orgasms, and sometimes them orgasms are energetic currency. So, hey, I don't know if y'all ready for that conversation, but it is not just casual. It's far from casual sex. The casualty and how you hooked up, yes, but the sex within itself is not casual. It's not. It is not casual. Yep, we all have our slip ups. I was 6 years abstinent. I was. I had a temporary moment. I did. I'm not gonna even lie. I did have a temporary moment, but it was a one-time thing and it was for the moment. But yet and still, we can lie to ourselves and say, "Oh, okay, that was nothing," No, mm-mm. It is not casual. It's far from casual. Yeah, and that's the thing too, like, is that transaction at the end of the day, is it even gonna be right? Because, like, after a while of not having it and I hooked up with some this was, like, this was back when I started my abstinent journey. This was, like when was this? Yeah, 6 years ago. When I started my abstinent journey, like, what led me to it was I reconnected with somebody from the past that I had, intercourse with a couple of times or a few. And it was like, what the fuck am I doing? And it's because, and even the last time that I broke my abstinence, my 6 year abstinence, even that, like I knew that person since high school. And it was like, okay, it's a safe space, or you would think, but it wasn't like, and it's because that deep connection, like I can't find myself to just be in that, like for the moment, like, okay, whatever. But once it's done, there's no connection. So it's like, okay, what the fuck? Like, really? Like I'm just not one of those people that can just be like, okay, I'm gonna get my kitty cat scratched and then just go on about my day like everything was cool. Like, okay, it might have take the edge off, but I don't feel anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that I don't like about sexual exchanges is that people just look at it as this casual thing. It is not a casual thing. By no means. It's not. It is an energy exchange. And is it a fair exchange? Sometimes, no, it's not always a fair exchange. And sometimes you come back, whatever, you know how people say, like, you gotta, like, dollar bills are dirty, right? They're filthy. Current, like, paper currency is really filthy because of all the hands and all like everything that's been on it. Somebody probably dropped it in the street. And they're it's a transaction of all these different hands and energies and stuff on it. So think about when you are having sex with somebody. and they're having sex with you. And let's say, not getting cash. I don't know how else to say it. I'm trying to say it in a decent way, but even though that sounds a little crazy, but I try to, I don't know, some kind of way. But when you have these transactions with people, you don't know, like, when you're getting that exchange back, like what that exchange, if it's got filth on it. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody else's energy on it. This person could be a PDF file behind the scenes. This person could be posing as a heterosexual man, but they sleeping with men. You don't know what type of transaction you getting with these people. They could be like really sick individuals, and you're having these exchanges with them. That energy is exchanging with you. Okay. So, and people be wondering why they like having like STDs and why they stuff burning and shit. Why, you know, why their stuff is itching for the ladies, why they stuff smell funny and stuff like that. Because the people you sleeping with, come on. And if anybody knows, like just because you use a condom, if it's an energy exchange, it's going to leap onto you. Like people can still catch diseases through condoms. Like, so you got to think of it that way. Like it's not just like, bacteria and bodily fluids and stuff like that. It's energy. Sometimes you're not even in your right mind after you sleep with a person and you wonder why. Because of the person you just slept with. Why you're angry, why you look depleted, why you look depressed and sad, or, like it's not as casual as people think. And when spirit be blocking people from coming into your experience, or you be like, oh, why can't I just get with homie? Why can't I just why you better be thanking your lucky stars that you ain't been able to like get with that person, or it's not working out, because that person could be somebody you don't want to deal with, somebody that you wouldn't even want touching you. So like if you really knew, that's why you got to give yourself really, really beyond the illusion and ideal of a person. You don't really know a person until you know them, if that makes sense. You can, have a crush on somebody at work that you see every day and not know that person until maybe outside of work, until you really get to see who they are as a person. And when people ask me about like potential, partners, like, okay, what would it be if I dated this person, or I like this guy, like I want to see like if it's gonna go anywhere, and I always like give them a practical advice, leave them with this. You have to see if you really like this person as a person. Like if you weren't dating them, and would you suggest this person if you weren't attracted to them, if you weren't physically, sexually, or whatever attracted to this person, and they were just like a platonic individual in your life, would you suggest your friend, someone that you love dearly, to date this person, or a family member to date that person? If the answer is hell no, not because you like them, but because like the type of character they are, then why the fuck do you like them? If you don't even think that this person, because I look back, I have to be honest, there's some people that I dated or was in a relationship with that I would not be friends with. So like if it wasn't for emotional, attachment, or romantic dealings or relations, or whatever the case, or time and all this dumb shit that we place on things, that person would not be my friend. I wouldn't want them to be my friend at all. I had to really be honest, like, well, I don't really like this motherfucker. That's crazy. Why am I with them? If you would never be friends with this person, like if you guys were to never date, would you be able to be cool with this person, and your answer is no, then that's a really big thing. Outside of superficial reasons like this person's character, how they treat people, like, their values, their morals, um, connectivity, compatibility. Would you be this person's friend? You got to think about it from that perspective. It's not, you cannot look at people from a lens of how you want to see them, or how you want to feel, or the ideal that you have of them, and oh, the potential, and I can see us being together, and because of this, and because, like, let's be real in the moment, is this person somebody that you would suggest to a friend of yours, and be honest with yourself? You might be surprised by the answer. Because the shit that you put up with, you probably wouldn't even want that. You wouldn't wish that on your best friend. So, like, if that's the case, honey, what you doing? What you doing? Literally, what are you doing? 'Cause that's crazy as hell. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Some of these people I dealt with, I'm like, crazy. Like, when you think about, like, I was really stupid. I was really crazy as hell for this. Like, why? What was I doing? That put a lot of shit into perspective. I'm telling you. Why? Why do you want to date him? Yeah. But yeah, real love is not an attachment. There's no attachments in love. I know, like, the whole we're loyal to each other, but it's a choice at the end of the day. Again, to be loyal, to be faithful to someone, it's your choice. You're choosing to show up for each other in that way. That's the choice within itself. This reminds me of the lover's card. The lover's card represents the choice in love, the freedom in love. Freedom in love is that I don't have to stay connected to you. I make the vow because that is my choice to do that. I don't have to. When you're attached, like the devil card, there's those restrictions. There's those, I can't be free. I can't do this, or I have to. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm at the point where I don't even want to meet another person again. I feel you. Like, to have to, but dating can be fun, but it can be exhausting, and it's only a stressor, I feel like, or one of the stressors, to get to know or to get back into the dating again if we go into it looking for the husband or looking for the wife or looking for the boyfriend or the girlfriend, instead of just like, I know ultimately what I want, but let me be open to the experience to even see if I even like this person at all. This person may not be the one. They may not even be a bad person. They might be somebody that I could end up being cool with or learn something from or put me on to something, or I could put them on to something. It's some type of, it could be something out of it. You know what I mean? But if we go into it, we'll get bummed out if we have like a preconceived notion of how it's supposed to be. And that is why I say go into it platonically, like, yeah, okay, this person's attractive, or I like certain things about them, hence why we are even like talking or dating or getting to know each other. But if it gets to a point where this person and you just don't vibe, if you have it from that standpoint of, I want to see if I even like this person, and you're not adding sex into the equation and stuff like that, you'll be good. You'll be fine. It might be like, oh fuck, okay, another one bites the dust, but you won't be so bummed out though. And this dating pool, I mean, I don't know what people gonna have to go move somewhere else in another country, but even then, like, even the people in the other countries complain about the men and the women. So I feel like it's a global thing. It's some type of, I don't know, it's an epidemic out here with people. I don't know if we just, the collective of men and women, this gender war is really telling. And I still want to do a reading on this. This is one of the topics that I said that if I do these certain type of topics, I know people gonna be fucking mad at me, but it is what it is. Like, we have to talk about it. It's a deeper problem than just like people going on podcasts talking about men and women and dating and how shitty it is. There's an uncovering and an unveiling that people need to heal. Like, men and women collectively need to heal. Anything that you see in front and center stage, it's a bigger thing going on spiritually. Whatever you see, the celebrities, this scandal is happening and this exposure, like, okay, that on the media surface level of things, like, it just looks like, okay, celebrity drama, it doesn't mean anything. But no, there's spiritual principles behind everything. So when you see this, there's multiple lessons and multiple um spiritual karmic things going on that you can take from these experiences. As within, so without. So whatever you see in your physical reality, there's something going on spiritually too. Just like with the hurricanes, I wanted to do a topic on that, but I'm like, ooh, don't want to do that because people might be mad at me about that. And I know I can't be worried about that. These are controversial topics because, from my perspective, that hurricane, there's spiritual things going on with that as well. And it's so many layers, like so many things can be true at once. But I definitely wanted to do a reading on gender wars. I definitely wanted to do a reading on the hurricanes and just like world things going on, the celebrity exposures, and not from a perspective of celebrity gossip and scandal, but from a spiritual eye. Man made or not, me personally, I feel like there's other other worlds down below. Um, I felt that. I felt that. When did I start feeling this energy? I felt like the ocean was mad, and I don't know if it was early this summer or last summer. I felt anger in the ocean for some reason. And you know the ocean is like my home. That's like my second home. So I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's living things, not just the sea creatures, but there's other living things under that water, and I feel like that contributes. I don't know. I just got angry waters. I kept feeling that. I think that was either this summer or last summer. I was feeling that angry waters, and it didn't surprise me that all of those fishermen or whatever, um, those people went on strike. That didn't surprise me. Water spirits, yep, Yemoya is, yeah, they are. And I wanted to talk about this in several videos. I wanted to go into further detail, but I came across this video. It's a woman that I'm subscribed to. She's a prophetess, like a prophetess, a minister, and I love her prayers. So I subscribe to her. She had this man come on, and he's a like a would you call it an evangel? Not an evangelist. I don't know. I'm gonna just call him a missionary, from India, and he was saying that when he went to the oceans to pray over the oceans, he saw a sea creature come out of the water. Credible source. I know he's not tripping because I felt that. I'm like, there's something, there's something going. I know it. Like I know I'm not tripping. And I was watching Wakanda around the same time that I came across this video, a little bit around the time before the hurricanes came. And I was watching that scene, or no, I think it was around the time of the hurricanes. And I was watching the scene where they went underwater and like the anger of those Mayan sea people, the ocean people. And I love that. I think that one, I Chadwick Boseman did his thing. I love Black Panther, but Wakanda, for some reason I like that one a little bit more. I don't know why. But that particular those groups of people, I believe that's some truth to that. There's something to that, and the anger of the ocean, I felt that. So when I seen that man make that video, I'm like, that's confirmation. I don't know. That's what I feel, just intuitively, spiritually, and just like tapping into the ocean. And like I felt that way before these hurricanes. I felt the anger of the ocean. I don't know. That's how I interpret it. I felt anger. Yeah, I agree, Celeste. I should just, just do it. Fuck it. Yep, it was. Yeah, connected with the water, and I feel the water is heavy, if I can say it like it is. Yeah. And there's like, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure, Gabby, you've seen probably some of these or heard some of these stories, but like a lot of people in Haiti will say that they've encountered real mermaids, and some people even like being taken by some of these mermaids. And I think that the the siren goddess that you're talking about, Gabby, if I'm not mistaken, like she will take people and then bring them um back to the lands. Some people don't come back. I remember my grandma saying that she remembers seeing mermaids when she was little, and I used to just think she was just saying that, but a part of me kind of believed it because I like things like that. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But at the same time, like, is she really like literally saying she saw mermaids, or is she just like, just saying some stuff to appeal to kids? You know what I mean? Like, but no, she says she's seen some when she was little. Yeah. Yep. For a time. Yeah, I know. No more light. No more living light. I gotta write this stuff down because if I don't, I'll forget. Because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want to do a reading on that. But yeah, the gender wars. We're gonna talk about the limerence, the lust, and the love. Um, these world things going on in the oceans. Like, what do they want to say? Because for some reason, I really do feel, oh, oh wow, your mom said she was saved by a mermaid. People think this shit is crazy. It's not. It's not. And I always say, like, I've seen fairies before. Fairies are real. I could say that with 100% conviction that fairies are real. I've seen them before. They used to dwell in this little space in my backyard. We had like a little plant garden, and I used to see them out there all the time. Fairies are real. I do believe that there's other living things other besides dolphins and sharks and sea jellyfish and shit like that. There's other life under the water. I believe that. We're not the only thing here. We're not the only thing here on this planet. We're just not. I don't believe that. And we can believe, oh, there's other worlds and other planets and things like that. Yeah, that's cool. I believe that too. But I believe there's other things here other than just humans and animals in this physical realm, in this planet Earth. I wholeheartedly believe that. And the more you like when you're in your childlike energy, like for those of you that have like spiritual gifts, like they might be a little bit different. I guess this would probably be like a clairvoyant gift. But I remember when I was little, I don't know what this being was. I guess at the time when I was little, I thought it was a tooth fairy, but it could have been an angelic being because it was really like like how do I explain it? It was like a real illuminated being, like figure. I remember going into me and my brother, my little brother, we shared a room and I had lost my tooth. So I thought when I went in my room, I thought what I saw was a tooth fairy because that was just my innocence. But looking back, I feel like that was an angel. Like when you're little, and same thing with the fairies. I was a grown woman when I saw the fairies, but that was around the time that I started my YouTube channel. I was very um after I had went through my dark night of the soul, my spiritual awakening in 2012, around 2013, 14, I was in this very childlike wonderment. Everything was new to me. Everything just seemed more brighter. I was in that love and light stage, but it was from an innocent place. And I feel like that was the only reason why I saw those fairies. That was the only way that I could see them. If I was to see them in certain stages where I was like going through depression, anger, rage, my suicidal phases that I have gone through and stuff like that, I wouldn't be able to see those things unless something intercepted and was like, I want you to see this. You need to see this, like to break you out of it. But otherwise, I don't believe I'll be able to see those fairies if I wasn't in that state that I was in. So like your childlike self, like when you are in that place, you're more receptive, you're more close to the God source essence when you're in your purest form, in your purest state. That's why kids, you notice they have these vivid imaginations, and who's to say that they're not communicating with spirits? And they don't have to be demonic spirits, or they could be communicating with their angels. You know how they say when babies smile in their sleep, they're communicating with angels. They're the closest to God's source. They're pure. They haven't been conditioned in their mind yet in the way that we have. So that essence gets blocked off a little bit. Hence why, and it's coming full circle, hence why Walu child is so dear to me, because that reminds us of the inner child within ourselves, and that it's not meant to be just only taken as a light and fluffy journey, but also to find strength and empowerment in working through your shadows. I thought of him when I said when babies smile in their sleep. That's funny. um, yeah, that's why I like the whole imaginary friends thing. Because my brother, my youngest brother, when he was little, he had one that he had a name for. I want to ask him. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna probe him a little bit. Like, I can't remember the. Oh my God, what was his friend's name? His imaginary friend. I almost had it. It was like a common name. It was a guy name, and it was like a common name. Oh my God, I almost had it. I vaguely remember. I'm gonna have to ask him, but he had a whole name for his imaginary friend. So I don't know. I don't know. Some people might argue that that's like a sign of schizophrenia or something. I mean, I don't know, maybe, but I do know one thing: like kids are the closest to source, God, and so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Walu, according to my family, they said I was calling flowers Walus and I was talking to them and stuff. I probably wasn't talking to no damn flowers. It probably was something sitting in. It probably was a motherfucking fairy. Wow. Coming full circle. Remember how I said that the fairies would hang out in our plant area in my backyard? And I used to call myself the ghetto fairy before I settled and felt led to call my channel the Wild Child Readings. I used to be the ghetto fairy. That's funny. Who knows, child? I don't know. Because I was a toddler, so I don't remember what I could have been talking to. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. But I do miss Walu, like that part of me, and I want to get back to that. I guess we can call it a rebrand. As corny as that sounds, we can call it a rebrand. I'm probably gonna go back to being called the Walu Child. I'm probably not gonna do readings because, like I said, I don't want my channel to just be only, oh, it's all about readings. No, but just the energy that I want to bring to the channel, because I feel like it's being rebirthed, being renurtured. It's kind of like a plant that needs to be reawakened, or a flower, a plant that needs more love and more nurturing, more light. So I'm going to um do that. So I have all these readings planned for y'all, all these topics. Okay. I need to write this shit down. I'm telling you, because I don't want to forget about the Sailor Moon, the spiritual warfare video. I want to do that. I want to do the readings around the ocean waters. I want to do a reading on gender wars. We're going to do the limerence topic. What else? Name something so I don't forget, y'all. Let me write this down as we're talking. Give me something before I get off of here, y'all. Where's my pen? Where's my pens? When I'm looking for my Sharpies, I can never find them. But now that I don't need them, they're just all over the place. Let me see. My pen right here. Okay. I know. Saturday sessions or something. The thing about me is like I'll be like on a roll, and then if like one day, but I'm glad to have some off days. Everybody's allowed to have that off day sometime. Yeah, we should do that. We should do some spirit talks. Um, I don't even be planning it. I just wanted to come on here and touch base and talk about like some changes I wanted to make, and like the community posts, like suggestions and stuff. And it has a mind of its own. Hey sis, hey Tori. Yes, I feel like that's what's happening, and I want to extend that to everybody else as well. Like this channel isn't just about me. It's like an extension of me, because I feel like this sounds so corny, but there's a Walu, there's a flower, a fairy, or what have you in every single person. And things about fairies, like they're so like mystified, but they also have egos too. They get angry, they get little attitudes, they can be tricksters and jokesters, they can be quite, quite sassy. There's a dark side to them as well. Same thing with Oshun energy. I feel like everybody just focuses on how beautiful the energy of Oshun is, and she's fertile, and she's this goddess of love, and this is. But don't make them. She got another side to her. Yeah, the sunflowers and the peacocks, but she also is represented by um the what is it, the vulture bird. So she has a side to her, and she will leave a person destitute. Like, if you fuck with me, I'm gonna leave you destitute and take all this water back. And what y'all gonna do without my waters? What y'all gonna do? You know? So there's that balance, okay? Spirit babies, fairies. I do have otherworldly, like I said, I have a reading that I did for y'all or created. So I'm gonna share that. I'm gonna do a pick a card. I don't know, maybe I'll probably pre-record it. I'm probably not gonna do it live. I'll just pre-record it. Um, Fairy reads, limerence. Um, what was the other ones? The ocean. Um, Gender wars. Um, the spiritual meaning behind celebrity scandals and exposures. We're gonna do that. Probably, I might merge the gender. No, I don't know, because sometimes like you can merge some of these topics together. Sometimes, and then I cannot forget the Sailor Moon spiritual warfare video. Live stream. Okay. They gonna drown. Yeah, Yemiya is too. She's like I think of her as like not a grandmother, but yeah, kind of in a sense like she's like Big Mama. Like they depict her as like this gorgeous, beautiful woman, but I feel like her energy is maternal, like a grandmother, like the grandmother of the waters, basically. That's how I see her. But yeah, because I got this deck. Hold on. This deck has been calling to me for like 6 or 7 years, child. And I used to be scared of it, the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. I used to be scared of it because like the whole word voodoo and stuff like that. Hoodoo is more appealing because that's more of like an American version of spirituality and folk magic and stuff like that. And then the biblical um aspect of it too with hoodoo is like it makes it a little more comfortable. But I felt guided to just go on and get something, told me go on and get it. And I was about to purchase it and I forgot that I had an Amazon credit. So I didn't have to pay nothing. Like it was like, just go ahead and just get you ain't got to spend no money. Just use that credit, and it paid for the whole deck, literally. So it was only like a few cents left on my Amazon credit. So it covered the whole deck. So it was meant. This deck is a little complex to read. Like, I mean, obviously, intuitively, you can read it, but it has a whole system. And I think I'm gonna do my ocean read with this deck because it does have the Orishas in this deck. I just love the African-esque of it too. And that's another thing. I want to do readings and I don't want to exclude all my other subscribers, but I do want to do more reads for the African, this like the indigenous and African um groups of people, because there's so many things that I feel like are needed. And if you respect other races, you have to understand like anybody with common sense knows that the African experience, whether that be in other parts of the world, whether that be in America, the indigenous, there's so much trauma, so much lost histories, and some of it not all lost, but some of it distorted, some of it mixed up, mistold. Um, so many things. And I just want to talk about in the topics that some people don't want to talk about. I want to talk about that on here. I don't like the separation of the African and the African American, or what you call it, because like I understand that not all of the African or the so-called African Americans are, their ancestors may not even be from Africa, and that's the truth. That there's black people, if you want to call it that, generalize it. There's black people all over the world, and not all of them came from so-called African tribes. And Africa is been like minimized too. So Africa might be way, actually, historically, Africa was way larger, a way larger continent than, shows how much I know, continent, country, all that. Look, it was a way larger space on the planet, let's put it that way, than what we're told and what's on the map. So I wouldn't be surprised. And then it's not even Africa. That's a name that was a European colonizer's name that named it Africa. It's not even the name of the place and space within itself. They just need all these different, like, we're going to put patches of this over here, and we're going to call this space patch right here this, and this is that, and these people are this and they're that. But I want to do readings for um, the indigenous all around the world. Does that make sense? Because there's so many things going on, and we think it's just a Black American issue with like the colorism and the femicide, the prison systems. There's so many things I want to talk about, child, like things I want to read on and talk about. And I just want to give y'all a heads up, like just a full disclosure. And it sucks that I even have to do that, because people just somehow just get upset when another Black person talks about Black issues, or focuses on that, because that is the perspective that I come from, because that is who I am. So I should be able to talk about that. That doesn't mean that it's exclusion in a sense of I'm excluding you out of a club that you're not hip to or you're not special. It's just groups and communities. So I want to be able to speak on these things and do readings on them too. Right. Right. Egypt is Africa. That's the crazy thing too. But again, you know, and to be quite honest, and I know that this is touchy, because it sometimes feel like an attack to some people when you say that, the colonization and a lot of the whitewashing around the world, it's a problem. And for people to just ignore that, just because you didn't do it, that doesn't exclude that the possibility that your ancestors partook in that. So that within itself is a spiritual thing that you do have to work out. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I firmly believe that. And if you are a person that, let's say your forefathers were slave masters, let's say they did harm a lot of people, that doesn't erase you from that on your bloodline, as much as you might want to escape that and say, well, I'm not racist. But in a sense, you can perpetrate racism and white supremacy by not stopping the certain narratives or taking your part in changing that. And I'm not coming at anybody, but I want y'all to think about that. Like, if you yourself are another race, specifically a white American or white whatever from another country, and you think just because you have a Black friend or Black associate that you're not racist per se, that is not true. I've heard it out of my own mouth. One of my family members is married, or not married, he's dating a racist white girl. His girlfriend is racist as fuck. She called his kids monkeys, and he's still with her. She doesn't like his family. So you can sleep with a racist man or woman, have babies with them, all that. That doesn't excuse that. Just like generational curses, if you are continue perpetrating the things that your ancestors did generations and generations ago, you're keeping it going. So same thing, if your family were racist and you don't stop the pattern of racism in your own life, then you're a participant of it. So I hate, it irks me, it boils my blood when I hear white people say, I'm not racist, because I have black friends, or I dated a black person, or um, I don't treat people a certain way. But it's like, if you see something going on and you don't do it, or you don't say it, like if you're keeping the cycle going, or you're turning a blind eye to it, you're benefiting off of it, you might as well be a racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, just as slavery can be, and this is another thing that people don't understand, and I have to explain this to them. It is scientifically proven that we can carry the trauma from within ourselves, from being in the womb with our mother and our mothers. We can carry all of that from generations. I think, how many generations was it? Don't quote me on this, but I'm gonna say it's a pretty significant number of generations, like 6 generations, I want to say, if not more, of trauma that you can carry through your mother's womb. So imagine that your greatest grandmother was in the trauma of slavery, wherever it was, in the Americas or somewhere in Europe, and they were being heavily brutalized. And you carry that, and they call the black woman the angry black woman. But if you were to really look at the history of slavery, whether that is American slavery or slavery in another country, 7 generations. Thank you, Lonnie. That's a lot of generations. Um, and you read the stories of the trauma, or you just research it, or find a YouTube video and look up the torturous experience and psychological and um spiritual torture and trauma that can imprint on a person. Like, that's too much to bear for one person. So carry that energy, and you still live in a society that still upholds white supremacy, no matter where you go in the world, in the globe. That trauma is constantly there. And just say that slavery is over, and slavery wasn't that bad, or get over it, or you're free now, is a big spit and slap on the face, for real. Like, the nerve of you, the motherfucking nerve of you. And if you say that black people are equal to you, you're a fucking liar. You're lying. You're lying. Or when I say equal to, I mean like have the same privileges as you, can get away with certain things that you get away with. Like, you're lying. And when you're lying through your teeth, and when you do that, you're either playing stupid or dumb on purpose, which is just as bad, or you don't see it because that's how conditioned you are in this world. You've been conditioned to live in white supremacy and benefit off of it, that you don't question it. But any common sense, like any person with common sense, and any grown adult or young adult, can see the difference in treatment. If you care about black people like you say you do, you would, without us telling you and without us asking you, you would look into the history of what we've been through. You don't get to gaslight and gaslight us into, oh, just get over it, it's, oh, it's not happening to you, or that's a long time ago, or like stuff like that. When you care about somebody, or when you love someone, you want to learn things about them. You want to know what they value, what they care about, what hurts them, what do they wish for. If you come into fellowship with a black person from any place around the world, whatever culture they're from, to not want to know who they are and what they're about and their story, and to diminish the part of their story or from their ancestors that was very traumatizing, and say, well, oh, the Holocaust happened. We're not talking about the Holocaust right now. We're talking about this right now. That, to me, speaks volumes. So do I want to do readings on black issues and like healing and message? I'm going to, yes. So I'm going to put that down on the list. This is not to exclude anyone, but it's, as a black woman, as an indigenous black woman as well, I want to speak about these topics and different things that will help people heal through their traumas and generational traumas and healing and colorism for my dark skinned women, especially women that get um, discriminated against and receive hate and bullying and trauma, because that's a whole nother topic. Me as a, I'm not even a light, I wouldn't even say light skin. I'll say like I'm the baby of the dark and the light people. I'm like in the middle. I'm the redheaded stepchild of the black people. I'm just in the middle, almost next to albino people, because they're their own, the albino black people, they own people too. They're the redheaded stepchild of the black community. But black, darker skinned people and women specifically, they have experienced a trauma that is just non-comparable to the others, because colorism, unfortunately, in the black community is a big issue. It really is. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Messages to uplift and help um, the darker skinned women in any black culture. We gonna go there. We gonna go there. Okay, we're going to go there. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna write down all these topics. Okay. I appreciate y'all vibing with me. This is like a long time. Yeah, it's a global issue. Like, it hurt my heart when this one content creator, um, I think she was like doing a review. It was like a makeup tutorial, makeup review or something, and like the hate that she got in her on her comments and stuff. It's just like people are so foul, so sick and twisted. It's like I said this in another video. I believe that racism is a demon. Prejudice, like that's demonic. Because let's keep it real. God created all these different facets. We birthed out different, different skill, different colors and cultures and communities. Like, we have all these colorful beings on the planet, and to disrespect or to discriminate or to hate another group of people because they're different from you, rather than saying, they're interesting or they're different, maybe not my taste or my style, but to come in and like harm, to torture, to bring them down, to strip them of their identities, that is demonic. That is demon work. I don't know what else to call it. Oh, your skin is darker, I'm going to treat you badly. Like, that don't make sense. I'm going to bully you because you're dark skinned. Like, does that make sense in a logical mind? Why? That we've been conditioned that light is better, or this is what beauty is. This is the standard of beauty. Whiteness is the standard of beauty. Whiteness is the standard for success, and everything else is dirty and ugly. That's demonic. Like, as adults, like, how do you sit with that and think that that's normal in your mind to think that? Like, I can't wrap my mind around no shit like that. It doesn't make sense to me. A different type of hair texture is frowned upon while others are not. Like, the conditioning to the division and everything. Like, honestly, that division, that separation in things is like, would we think certain things were ugly or attractive if we didn't know what was ugly or attractive? If we weren't conditioned to be told that this is what, because different cultures, like, there's certain jewelry pieces, piercings, hair colors and dyes that are considered beautiful that might be strange to other countries or other places around the world. Like some people might think that that's strange. If we didn't have certain conditioning globally, would we really? Because people are attracted to what they're going to be attracted to, and it really, like, really just trips me out when people say, I don't date this type of person and I don't date this type of person. And that to me is a program, that is a condition, that is a mental illness, in my opinion, to only say, I only date this. And if you say that you only date your own race, like, I can kind of understand that, because that is your community. That is an extension of you. That is a mirror reflection of you. But to say that you'll never be open to dating another race is weird to me. Or if this person is this skin tone, or they're this, you have a right to a preference. But if your preference excludes everything else, it's not a preference, really. I might prefer, I don't know, let's say I might prefer Coca-Cola over Pepsi. But if they didn't have Coca-Cola, would I be okay with drinking Pepsi? Probably. I'm not going to be just like, I exclude all other sodas, or um I like roses. I only want red roses. And if they say, well, we don't have red roses, would you like another flower? And I say, no, I don't want any other flower. You have a right to that, yes. But you're limiting yourself. There's something wrong with the person, I feel, like, that moves like that. It's very superficial. It's very, so, like, spiritually stunted, in my opinion. You're spiritually stunted to a certain degree, because you're not experiencing life when you just limit yourself to one thing. So when you do that with human experiences and say, I can never love another person only if they look like this, then you're only looking at the external, and you're not looking at the deep parts of a person. You might relate better. Maybe you could say, I typically relate better to this type. But if it's like superficial things, something is fucking wrong with you. Hey, Nina. Thank you. Yeah, there's something wrong with that. That don't make no sense to me. And to be like in tune with the world around you is to find beauty in everything. So if you could say I can only find beauty in one type of look, or one, that's conditioning. There's people that don't fall for the okie doke that this is the only standard of beauty. There's some people that could say, okay, yeah, I can see how that could be beautiful, but that's not the standard, or that's not the only level of beauty. To say that something is a standard is to kind of put in a person's subconscious mind that if they don't look like that, they're not beautiful. And that's sad. Like that, like spiritually, psychologically, that is crazy to me. I don't understand it. So I do want to talk about those type of topics as well. Probably do reading, just like as a means. We gonna go deep in here. I'm telling you, like, just we gonna get into the layers. Um, yeah, I'm just notating what I'm gonna talk about. Okay, and um, okay, so you stupid, Nina. You stupid. I think it's weird. Celeste says, I think it's weird when black people will say they're not attracted to their own people, but say that's not self hate. Yeah, that's why I said that's a mental illness. It is. And I find it funny. How do I say this? I'm gonna say specifically for like the black men versus the black women that say that. When the black women say that, it's because they they do typically generally like or prefer their own race or attracted to their own race, but they go through so much of like either the mistreatment or being bullied or teased. And then as far as like the black men, when you hear their excuse, they either say one or two things. That's their favorite thing. Oh, I was brokenhearted by a black girl in school and none of the black girls like me. That's their favorite thing. Their second favorite thing is I didn't grow up around any black people or any black kids. Their favorite thing to say. Or it's just I don't see them like that. I see them as my sisters and stuff like that. That makes no sense to me. And that is like a bigger excuse because and then oh, there's no nerdy black girls or they only want the thugs. That's not true. That is not true. That's like a black girl saying that, oh, only black boys only want video vixen girls. They only want girls like that's not true. You know what I mean? So I feel like those are excuses. And sometimes it could be limitations in the mind when you think that you're not attractive or you feel like, you won't be accepted. So you kind of limit yourself. But it's a lot of conditioning. That's not normal for a person to say that they don't like their own race. And it's not to say that you can't date other races, but when you say you don't like, there's something wrong with you. You have like, it's something wrong. Like you have an identity issue. That's a deeper issue within yourself. And I mean, just to be, sensitive and sympathetic to people, it could be trying to find relations in that for yourself because for a long time growing up, black people made fun of so-called nerdy people or black kids that were into so-called nerdy things or like to play instead of playing outside or playing sports, they like to, let's say, read books or watch anime or something that wasn't, or they didn't like rap music. They preferred classical music or they preferred rock music and they were called, oh, you're trying to be white or you talk white. So those conditionings will make you have some sort of resentment towards your own race. I can see that to an extent. And so you feel like, oh, well, there's probably no one else like me. So I have to gravitate towards other people that are into these so-called things that may be alternative to black people, right? Or black culture or what we were taught black culture is. But when you open your eyes and you really learn that black culture is not just hip hop and sports and there's way more to black culture and in the contribution to art and things like that. There's way deeper into literature. So it's sad. I understand. I try to sympathize with those people that think that way or feel ostracized or misunderstood by their own race and feel like they have to gravitate towards other spaces because of that. I understand that. That's just a whole other issue within itself. But yeah, we're not going to go too deep into that because there's so many different things we can talk about. But I'm going to write down all of the suggestions and the stuff that came to me too. I'm going to keep those in mind. And come back with some more content for y'all. Yeah. I still have to do my weekly reads for Patreon. I haven't even done them yet. Um, yeah, so spirit talks and stuff. Yeah, if y'all want to see more spiritual talks, we can do that. We can do it like how we did it today, just free flow. Just let it come, or we can like set it up specifically. But so far, the spiritual talk that I want to do is the Sailor Moon spiritual warfare one. So I'm gonna set that up soon too. Like just get a little structure going and stuff like that, and we'll talk about it. Um, hmm. I don't know what else. Let me see. Um, yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. I think I'm gonna leave in the I'm gonna do the community tab. Yes, you did, Nina. I've been on here since when did I come on here? At 10 something? Yeah, I was on here like around 10ish. Yeah, I think I was on here like around 10. So I'm gonna put in the community tab if you guys want me to do monthlies instead of me doing like in 12 videos. Like if you guys like the personalized zodiacs, we'll just do it as one live stream once a month. And then for the, like I said, for the weekly readings, I do those. I do weekly general readings on Patreon, and I also do weekly love readings on Patreon. Oh, and then the divine partnership readings, we're gonna bring those back too, but in a revamped way, more of a healthier way. I'm gonna start doing my Walu reads every. I don't know if I want to do it every week or once a week. Yeah, maybe once a week. So I appreciate y'all feedback. Thank you. It's been my pleasure coming on here and shooting the breeze and vibing with y'all for a little bit. It's 12 noon here, so I got to get my life together. I got to do some things. I got to get together, okay, today. And I got to get my Patreons out. So I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. So it looks like most likely Walu we're going to change it back to Walu because I do miss, well, I do. I miss that. So Chinoa, officially Chinoa, we know my name is, we know that. We know. That's Chinoa, that's my government. That's in a whole nother layer too. But Walu, we gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back. Okay. We're gonna bring her back. So happy Saturday. Whenever you guys are watching this, I appreciate y'all. Much love as always. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe out there. And until the next one, thank you. I appreciate it. Later.